Hello, everyone. This is everything you need to know about Ford Mustang. Officially, Henry Ford II unveiled the Ford Mustang at the World's Fair in Flushing Meadows, New York, on April 17, 1964. Ford planned for 100,000 first-year sales, but 22,000 Mustangs were immediately snapped up by buyers on the first day. You may be surprised that the Ford Mustang is not the horse. It is named for a World War II fighter plane. The Mustang was the first of a type of vehicle that came to be known as a pony car. The first-generation Mustang. Ford marketed the original Mustang as a 1965 model, though Ford made several production changes to cars built after August 1964, by which time Ford had already sold 120,000. The original engine lineup consisted of a 170 cubic inch displacement straight-six, 4.3-liter V8 and the legendary 289 cubic inch displacement V8 with up to 271 horsepower. For late 1965, the 6 was enlarged to 200 cubic inch displacement, or 3.3 liters, and the 260 was replaced by a 289 with a 2-barrel carburetor. The Mustang roared into 1966 with only minor changes, and on March 1 of that year, Ford built the millionth Mustang. In 1967, the first major changes to the Mustang. The car grew bigger as allowed the installation of a big block engine. The 390 cubic inch displacement, or 6.4-liter V8, produced 335 horsepower, displacing the 289 as the top performer. Interior and exterior trim was revised, and a new 302 cubic inch displacement or 4.9-liter V8 replaced the higher horsepower 289s. For drag racing, Ford offered a 428 cubic inch displacement or 7.0-liter Cobra Jet V8 rated at 335 horsepower and 440 pounds-foot of torque. The 1969 saw the Mustang got bigger still, 3.8 inches longer and half an inch wider, with no change in the 108-inch wheelbase. Ford dropped the 289 and added a new 351 cubic inch displacement, or 5.8-liter V8 with 250 or 290 horsepower. For 1971, the new Mustang was more than 2 inches longer and almost 2.5 inches wider than its 1970 predecessor. The 200 cubic inch 6-cylinder was dropped along with the 428 cubic inch V8. As emissions rules tightened and Americans moved away from muscle cars, engine choices eroded. By 1973, the coupe's weight had ballooned to 3,600 pounds, 1,200 pounds heavier than the 1965 Mustang. Sales continued to nosedive. Aside from General Motors and Ford, most automakers had ditched their pony cars by this time, but Ford had something completely different in the works. From 1974 to 1978, the incredible shrinking Mustang II. Those who complained the Mustang had gotten too fat were about to see their concerns addressed. For 1974, Ford introduced the Mustang II as subcompact based on a stretched Pinto platform and available as a notchback or hatchback. Engine choices were a 140 cubic inch displacement, or 2.3-liter, 4-cylinder or a 171 cubic inch displacement, or 2.8-liter, V6. Ford pitched the Mustang II as an upscale economy car, with the luxury-themed Ghia topping the lineup. 1979 to 1993, the Fox body. The Fox body Mustang is the third generation. In 1979, Mustang rode on a new platform called Fox, which it shared with the Fairmont sedan. Available in both notchback and hatchback styles, the new Mustang offered a 2.3-liter four-cylinder engine and naturally aspirated, 88 horsepower, and turbocharged, 132 horsepower, form, 2.8-liter V6, dropped later in the year, 3.3-liter I6, and the 4.9 V8 still labeled as a 5.0. Ford replaced the 4.9 with a 4.2 V8 for the 1980 and 1981 model years, just in time for the second oil crisis. Ford dropped the troublesome turbo for 1982, when the 4.9 5.0 made its triumphant return. From 1994 to 2004, Mustang returns to its roots. Under the skin, the new Mustang had a stiffened and enlarged version of the Fox platform. The suspension was tuned for a softer ride with comparable handling, though critics lamented its more benign understeering nature. The 4.9-liter V8 returned with 215 horsepower, and the new base engine was a stout 3.8-liter V6. In 1996, Ford replaced the 4.9 with the modular 4.6-liter OHC V8. Output was similar to the 4.9, but the engine was criticized for a lack of low-end torque. A more powerful limited-run SVT Cobra remained in the lineup. 2005 to 2014, Mustang goes retro. The 2005 Mustang debuted with a squared-off shape that paid proper homage to the first-generation Mustang. Ford had finally ditched the 25-plus-year-old Fox platform, though the new Mustang retained its live rear axle in order to keep costs down, a move the automotive press harshly criticized. The base V6 Mustang used a 4.0-liter V6 that produced 210 horsepower, while the 4.6-liter V8 was now up to 300 horsepower. The fifth-generation Mustang got a facelift in 2010, just in time to greet the new Camaro. One of the styling highlights was the sequential taillights, though the original Mustang never had them. The 1964 Thunderbird, 1967 Mercury Cougar, and 1968 Shelbys did. The year 2011 brought new engines. A 3.7-liter V6 with 305 horsepower and a new 5.0-liter V8 that actually displaced 5.0 liters and put out an impressive 412 horsepower. The 2012 Boss 302 upped the power to 444. While the Boss 302 Laguna Seca Edition was a proper track-ready car. 2015 today, the modern Mustang. Ford revealed the latest iteration of the Mustang in December 2013 as a 2015 model celebrating the Mustang's 50th anniversary. An independent rear suspension was finally fitted as standard equipment, and the 300 horsepower V6 and 435 horsepower V8 were complemented by a new 310 horsepower, 2.3-liter turbocharged four-cylinder. For 2018, the styling was refreshed, and the V6 was dropped. In 2019, Ford announced a new four-door electric crossover to be marketed as the 2020 Mustang Mach-E. For your information, all the Mustang are rear-wheel drive. Ford is offering a 6-speed manual transmission and 10-speed automatic for the 2021 model. It's only the GT500 has a 7-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. 2022 Mustangs equipped with the Coyote V8 lost 10 horsepower and 10 pounds-foot of torque. Thank you for watching. I'll see you very soon. Later.